Hello and welcome to this Taranis and OpenTX quick tip. Now this is a very quick tip for those of you that have the Q X7 Taranis radio, and particularly for those that have been trying to get the telemetry and to show the telemetry on the main screen. Now at the moment we're using the supplied version of OpenTX on this radio. We haven't upgraded it because as I'm recording this video the final real version of OpenTX 2.2 still isn't available. So at the moment this is how it works. If you're watching this after probably the end of May in 2017, it might have changed slightly. But this is in particular for some 1987 2003 who asked about how you show RSSI values on the screen. So in this video we will use a trusty 8XR. We'll bind to this little guy and that's what we'll use to do everything, and we'll add the RSSI values onto a telemetry screen so you can monitor it as you fly about. Now the first thing we need to do is power on the radio.
Welcome to OpenTX.
And we need to select a model. Let's just put it for the moment on just one of the play models. And then what we'll do is we're going to press page. We'll go down and make sure that we're running the D16 protocol, which is the one that we need for the receiver that we're using. And then what we're going to do is we're going to select bind, hit the enter button, and then while we're holding the bind button down on the receiver we're going to plug it in. The red light will flash on the receiver with a solid green light to let know we've done it. We'll exit out the bind on here. Then we'll unplug and replug the receiver. The light will go green on the receiver. Hopefully you can see that. There we go. So now we're bind. Now we can actually start playing with everything. Now there's several steps that we need to go through for this to get this all working. So let me zoom in a little bit and I'll show you them in detail. So now we've got the receiver bound, the first thing we need to do is we need to go and discover all the sensors on the receiver, and by default there'll only be a couple of sensors available. One will be the receiver battery and the other will be our RSSI value, which is the one we're actually interested in. So we're going to press page until we get all the way through to telemetry. Whoops. Press and long hold page to go back up. So on 11 of 12 here is all of the details. This is where the alarms are going to go off for our RSSI values, and we can change those. And then at the moment you'll see that we have no sensors at all. So what we're going to do is select discover new sensors, hit enter, and there we can see the two values that are coming back from the receiver by default. The little flashing asterisks by the sign mean that they are live and being updated regularly. So we can see the radio at the moment is very close to the receiver, so this will dive about a little bit. So we'll stop discovery. And now the radio knows for this model we can also choose things like RSSI and receiver battery. Now that is pretty much all we've got in the telemetry screen. The other thing we need to do then is add those into a screen that we can view as we're flying around. So press page again to get into 12 of 12. We can add them to one of these display screens. So we can highlight any one of these, we'll just put them on number 1, and as we rotate through we can have numbers, bars, and we can even have a Lua script running if you've got that as well. Now we'll do it with numbers first, and then you can come down here and as you scroll around you can get all the inputs. If you go right to the very bottom you'll get RSSI. I'll hit enter. We'll also add in the battery voltage, receiver battery. They're usually right at the bottom of the list. There we go. What we'll also do is on screen 2 we'll add them as bars. So on this one we'll select the same thing, so we'll have RSSI, keep going down to the very bottom, there we go, RSSI. These are the minimum and maximum values available, so what we'll do is we'll have it going from 0 dBi to 90. Let's go all the way up there, and that just gives us the range of the bar. Let's go for 99, that'll work. Put the receiver battery in here as well, and we'll have it going from 0 volts to 5.5 maybe. Hit enter and exit out of there. So now we have screen 1 are numbers with the RSSI and receiver battery, and then underneath screen 2 is going to be bars with RSSI and receiver battery with those values. Now if we exit out of here, Here we are in our normal screen. Press page, there's all the views that we have. If you press and long hold page, there are our telemetry screens. There's the first one, which is the number screen. If we press page again, then we get to the second telemetry screen, and there's the bars with the 2 values that we've got. So that is 5.5 volts, that's 0 volts, so we can see we're okay. The disappointing thing at the moment, this doesn't actually show you what the range is on here, so that's part of the challenge. So hopefully that explains how to do it. That's the trick. You need to go and first of all discover the sensors, then you need to put the sensors onto the telemetry screens that you're interested in, and then to access the telemetry screens, press and hold the page button, and pressing page will scroll through the telemetry screens that you have configured. So hopefully some 1987, 2003, that helps and answers the question for you, and is also interesting for other people who have the same radio. Thank you for taking the time to watch that video. We try and release at least 2 videos a week, usually a quick tip on a Tuesday and a more in-depth video on a Friday, and sometimes we manage to get a few more out as well. If you're interested in radio control, then the playlists are useful to have a look at. Anything that's called Introduction To is an organised set of videos that teach you from first principles about the subject that you're interested in. But we also have information about the majority of popular open source flight controllers, how to build quadcopters, fixed wing models, reviews, setups, unboxing, all kinds of things in here as well. So if you haven't already had a look at the playlist, then I'd recommend going and having a look through here to see if there's anything that takes your fancy. Finally, we do also provide updates through things like Twitter, Instagram, and also post all of our 3D designs on Thingiverse as well. So if you like what we're doing here on YouTube, have a look at those things and subscribe to us there, and you'll find out what we're up to in advance of the videos coming out here on the channel.